Tell us who you are. Tell us about Andy Guttercat and your projects and the music and everything.
Andy Guttercat just came about really through being in my own band, the Guttercats, and we used the old surname syndrome of, like Joey Ramone and things like that. And it came about through that, and just finding a nickname really for the start of when the internet came around and going on to these little websites or group pages and having a nickname, and the nickname just hung around from that really. But going right the way back, I've been into music since the late 70s really, as a child growing up, listening to all the punk bands, the glam bands that were around during my school years. Just obviously, like everyone, got into music through that, and saw a gateway to wanting to be in a band. Really, it wasn't something that my parents wanted me to do. I ended up going down the avenue of having to get a job and not really following the dream 100% like I should have probably done. Just being in local bands. First band I was ever in was just schoolmates. Didn't do any gigs. All we did was rehearse and pretend that we were being in a band. We used to rehearse in parents' living room, and it was on a main bus route. And lots of people would be walking up and down the road, and we'd be sitting in there playing away. And we'd be like in a goldfish bowl, more or less. These people who were walking past and stopping, they could hear this loud music, and you know. But yeah, it was good fun, and yeah, and that's where the roots lie really for things. I think a band came along, and they were looking for a singer. I auditioned and got it basically, which took me into then the area of doing a few gigs with them. Didn't really last for too long. Not because any fault of my own, just that there was guys in the band a little bit older, and they got involved with the normal ways of life, really, girlfriends and pregnancies, and
Yeah.
getting married, and it just kind of dissolved, really. From there, I joined another band that was like a New York Dolls type band at the time, Johnny Thunders, and kind of cut my teeth with that band and learnt a lot from a guitarist in there in the band that had been around. Oh, he'd been around for the music scene for a long time in Coventry, and he kind of set the scene for going to rehearsals and banging out the songs one after another. But he was very strict in how he did things as well, and it was like an apprenticeship with him really in this band, and that came to an end. And I advertised myself as what I call Friday's Angel at the time, which was the name of a Generation X song. I don't know if you recall that at all. Generation X, Into the Valley of the Dolls album.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I advertised myself as a Friday's Angel looking for a band. And I had a guy approach me who was very much into the same sort of music, which at the time was stuff like, I don't know whether you know, Babysitters, Dogs D'Amour.
Dogs the More, yeah.
Yeah, all those kind of sleazy bands, and there was quite a few of them around London at the time, and they were the sort of bands that I got into. But yeah, joined up with them, and we became Friday's Angels, basically, from that. But we did a play on word the letters, and we changed the S's to Z's, which was the glam rock thing at the time in the 80s. To use Zeds a lot in that scene, and bands like Tiger Tails were doing that. Probably bands that you're unfamiliar with, but that was the scene that we were into. Bands like Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, I suppose, are influences as well at that point. But the Babysitters and those style of bands, Dogs D'Amour, they were the main influence really at the time, and we went off and we played the Marquee in London with that band, which obviously quite a famous club at the time. It's no longer there anymore, but everybody used to play at that club, from the Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, all the classics, basically classic bands. Moving forward, even rock bands and things. You got Guns N' Roses played there at one point, Twisted Sister. Yeah, and it kind of came to a bit of an abrupt end. And then I went through a phase in the 90s of not really doing a great deal of the early 90s until one of the guys from Friday's Angels and myself put together an acoustic duo and called ourselves the Guttercats. And that's where the Guttercats kind of started at that point. And it just started off as an acoustic duo, which it kind of, I don't know if you recall, back in the 90s, there was a lot of rock bands that started doing this acoustic rock thing.
Yeah.
We kind of predated it a little bit. I think the only band that had kind of started doing it at that point was Poison, which is where we actually got the name the Guttercats from, because the singer in Poison had got a band called Bret Michaels and the Hollywood Guttercats, and I thought, Guttercats, that's a great name. Yeah, so that's where that name came from. We went out and we did some gigs. We were doing some covers. We were doing some of the old Friday's Angel songs as well. And while we were out playing basically as an acoustic duo in various pubs locally, we then came across a drummer that was also into the same sort of style of music, and he joined up with us, and we went into an avenue of doing like Stray Cats kind of stuff as a three-piece. Still doing the acoustic, so the acoustic was still in there. We're still doing some Dogs D'Amour, we're still doing some Friday's Angel stuff. But we then started throwing into the mix a bit of Stray Cats and rock and roll stuff. Then we started to throw into the mix a bit more punky stuff as well. We also then, at some point, we got a bass player as well, so it became a four-piece. It just evolved into a band, but we were like semi-acoustic at this point. But we were playing all these cover songs and what have you. There was Vibrator song, I think, in there. We started moving into the punk a little bit. It kind of took off from there, but we did a couple of demos. We were doing some babysitter stuff as well. And it just took off from there. Then we kind of lost the guitarist that I initially formed the band with, who in later years then came back. I'll move on and tell you a little bit more about that as we go forward. Yeah, we went out and we found some replacement guitarists. We ended up with two guitarists in the band, and we moved into a more electric version of the Guttercats at that point. And then it got to the point that we just kind of hung the boots up, as it were, and the Guttercats came to a halt. And I then went off, got married and settled down and become a bit normal, as it were.
If you can ever become normal.
Yeah, I just kind of got to that point in life where I probably thought, yeah, hold on, it's time I settled down, got married, and it just turned out like that. But always in the back of my mind, I think I wanted to do music again at some point. I think the drummer was getting married himself, and we ended up playing at his reception, and the kind of bug hit again, really, playing a gig, and I think to myself, yeah, fancy doing this again. So we ended up putting a former band back together and go back out and playing. But that version of the Guttercats, which was, I suppose, by about that point was, I don't know, version 4, 5, 6, something like that, kind of moved on. And the band kept trying to better itself with changing the lineup and different people in the band. But that band kind of, it went as far as it could. There were fallouts and things, and we just kind of like imploded, really. 13 years ago now, when that band imploded, as it were. and I came away from it quite down, really. Didn't really want to do music again. Never thought that I would. Went off to go and find other things that were connected to music, but not necessarily doing music, which is where, like, the podcast came along, doing the photography, doing videos and things, just different things that occupied me, really, that were still connected to music, took me in that direction. But when we hit COVID times, although I was still busy going to work and what have you, I made a decision that I'd got all these kind of lyrics and things in my head that I wanted to kind of test out, and I decided that I'd go out and buy myself a guitar. I've never played guitar really throughout my musical life, so I thought, yeah, I'll go out and buy a guitar, see if I can write some songs as well. That idea kind of went out the window though, because I got the guitar in front of me, sitting there trying to play all these chords, and it wasn't really happening. I found myself playing the guitar as if it was a bass guitar, just doing the one notes, and it kind of went from there. I started kicking around some song ideas and pinging them off to a couple of friends and things just to see what they thought. And one particular friend, and I'm not quite sure how, apart from the fact that we were on Facebook, social media, or whatever, that we started talking. But it was a guy. I don't know whether you know the Main Grains and the City Kids, JJ.
I've heard of the Main Grange, yeah.
Yeah, well, the Main Grains was Danny McCormack's band out of the Wild
That's probably
Hearts.
why, yeah.
Yeah, and JJ was a guitarist in the Main Grains, and yeah, and I think, thinking about it now, I think he sent me. I was doing reviews of albums at the time as well. That was another thing that I was doing, writing reviews for different things, and he sent me the Main Grains album for review. He says, "What do you think of this? Write a review on it." Blah blah blah. So I did that, and it kind of, one thing led to another from there. I ended up approaching him because I knew that he worked on his own songs and he'd got a music set up, studio and what have you at home. And I ended up sending him this one song that it was very, very rough. Me playing bass, doing the vocals on it that I'd done on GarageBand of all things. But it was there, and it suited the purpose. Sent the song to him, and it was a song called Two-Faced People. It was my own song. Sent it to him, and I says, "What do you think of this? Is it worth pursuing?" And he said, "Oh yeah, definitely, definitely." Next thing you know, he put some drums to it, and he put some guitar to it. Sent it back to me, and he said, "Yeah, I've got a song for you." And it kind of grew from there. This song, and he actually ended up using my bass parts on it, which I thought, wow. I said, "Did you have to adjust anything on it?" And he said, "No, it's all there." So basically, what was there on that recording, which got put out, which was my first solo single, is me on bass as well. So yeah, so I was really, really proud of that moment and that song as well. Still to this day. So that gave me a gateway back into music, as it were, with recording, along with lots of fellow musicians helping me along the way. I've got to the point now that I've got almost an album's worth of songs recorded and ready to put out at some point. I've put out, I think it's 5 songs so far, and I do the videos for them as well, which is another side to the music thing that I'm doing. I realised when I put the first song out, Two-Faced People, that I'd never really done a proper video, and the opportunity came along to do a video for it myself, with the help of I don't know if you recall me saying I'll come back to him later. The guitarist from the Guttercat.
Yeah.
He moved away from doing music himself, and he'd moved into the area of doing photography. And I asked for his advice as regards lighting and things for a video that I had in mind for Two-Faced People. We both got together and we filmed this video for it, which is me basically sitting in front of the camera and gradually turning into the Joker. I was going to do Two-Faced, if you know the Batman characters. I was going to do Two-Faced, but that felt too obvious. So we ended up doing the Joker. So I did this video and gradually turn into the Joker. And again, really, really proud of that video as well. And that was another turning point for moving forward and then making the videos for all the songs. So we did the second song that came out was a song about being never too old to rock and roll. And it was just basically my history in music, but in photos and videos, which is basically what we just talked about, really. So there's a video out there depicting all of that life, as it were, in music on that video, and including the COVID times and what have you as well at the time. So that's out there. And then we moved on and we did another song. U-Turn was the next one. And U-Turn was just a song that came to me sitting in the traffic during COVID times again. Sitting at traffic lights and for whatever reason thinking U-Turn. Yeah, I might do a U-turn in a minute, and that's how it came about. But many people listen to it and they can listen to it and think whatever they want about what it was about. It could have been about the government, could have been about, like I say, turning the car around, anything. But it's got a great little video as well of me as a newsreader in it that people say, that's not you, is it? And I say, yeah. But it's a very popular song there. And then from there, what did we do after U-Turn? Trying to think. We went on to, we moved into the punk area, I suppose, of covering the Spunk Volcano song, Platform 3.
Yeah.
And again, I got my friend involved in that. His name's Ian, by the way. Yeah, she mentioned that, and we went out. We had no idea what to do for this video to begin with, and anyway, we went out to train stations and things, which is the obvious thing for a Platform 3, and filmed a few times. Didn't really gel, and then all of a sudden one day, we did this one video, and it was me walking along the platform. And he just filmed it, and the train pulled in literally as we were filming it, and people getting on and off the train, and it just everything slipped into place, and we got this great video out of it. And I must say though, with the song Platform 3, that was another idea that I had to cover the song, and also to get the guitarist from Spunk Volcano's band to play the solo on it. Because the original song didn't feature the solo or the guitarist on it. And the guy, Scott, out of Spunk Volcano, I said to him, I want you on this song. You've got to play on it. So I managed to get him to play on it. I also got Spunk Volcano himself to do an intro to the song, which it took forever to get him to do that, but we did get there eventually, because I wanted him to be singing on it, but he said, I haven't got the equipment to do it, so I went down the route of, I said, just do an intro for it then, so, and that's what he did, so I got both them on it from the band. And also, at that point, I got Ian out of retirement back on his guitar.
Nice.
And he played on Platform 3 as well.
How did you get him out of retirement?
Well, I got him to do some backing vocals for me initially. And then I said to him, and he didn't actually know at the time that I'd asked Scott from Spunk Volcano to play on the song. And we booked a rehearsal room, and I said to Ian, I said, look, you got to come down and play guitar for this recording. And he turned up, and then Scott turned up from Spunk Volcano, and he put him on the spot because he was so nervous that Scott had turned up to play on it as well. And yeah, so that's how that came about. But then Ian got the bug as well for the music thing as well. So I got him back into it a little bit in that respect as well. So he then got involved in a couple more songs, one of which is It's Just Shit. He did the guitar for that on his own. So I've got him to thank for the guitar on that. There's obviously a few other friends that I've had involved in the songs as well. Rob Orff and Flavor Bomb. I don't know if you know him.
No.
He was also in the Dead Hombres at one point.
Oh, was he? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, just
So
like me. You know, I was in a Dead
yeah,
Hombres for a bit.
yeah,
Oh, do
yeah.
you
So
know what? I did love those guys, but I think they
yeah.
wanted a guitarist rather than a singer
Uh,
because Nigel, there was songs personal to him and he was like, I just want to sing them. He said, can you play guitar, Marie? I said, if I really wanted to, I could, but I don't want to. I don't want to play
yeah.
guitar.
Uh, yeah. Well, Rob Orr was in the Dead Hombres for I don't know how long, a couple of years maybe. I've seen him play a few times, so obviously got to know him that way. And yeah, so got him to play on a couple of songs for me, and it really worked out well. I think U-Turn he played on actually was the first one he did for me, and he was also doing his own um, project, which was Flavor Bomb, and he'd got a mate Tom that plays bass with him, and I managed to get him to hook up and do some stuff with us. So he actually played on Platform 3 as well on bass, and it made quite a difference on that particular song as well. With his style of bass, it's very different and stands out a lot. So yeah, so we got him to play on there. He also plays on It's Just Shit. He plays bass on there. I got Ian playing guitar on there. It's Just Shit has been sitting there. We filmed the video for it back in January, but it's been actually recorded since I think the middle of last year, and just sitting there waiting to do something with it. I kind of don't like to just put songs out just for the sake of it. I like to do the promotion for them, and I like to do the videos for them now, obviously. So I like all that to fall into place, and then do a big promo push on it, which you'll probably see online this month for It's Just Shit as well. So yeah, there's some songs that I've got sitting there that have got, I don't know if you know the band Suicide Notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got they're playing on a couple of songs, a guitarist, but these are on songs that have not been released yet. I've got Jamie Oliver on 3 songs.
Cool.
From UK subs, Antinoli, etc. He's done some drums for me. They're sitting there waiting to be put out. Yeah, so there's all sorts of different people involved, and we've got some songs of my own, and we've got some cover songs as well. So it's a bit of everything. And also there's a mention for a drummer who helped me out in Coventry as well. He helped me out on the drums for Platform 3 and for It's Just Shit as well. So yeah, that was Dan that helped us out on that. What else have we got coming up? We've also got the I say we. I talk as if it's the band. I suppose in some ways I keep mentioning my mate Ian. He's kind of like the guy in the background that gives me advice and says, no, don't do this, don't do that. It just advises me basically on different things. And I've always relied on him going right the way back to Friday's Angels to give me his thoughts on different things. So it's kind of like, I don't know what they call it, the hidden member of the band or whatever. But yeah, he's just always been there, and he'll always tell me if something's crap, or go back and redo it, vocals, things like that, everything really across the board. He'll tell me if it's crap. He'll say, yeah, do it again. The video for it's just shit. It's just probably the best video that we've done so far, and then lots of ideas got chucked at it. And we actually went into I wouldn't say a studio, but we hired a room out so that we could film it properly with a green screen and things. And we got lots of props in it as well, so we spent a little bit of money on getting some props for it. There's a bit of acting in it as well. I've got a couple of people involved in it that were at the studio. Like, it's a tattoo studio where we filmed it, and the guy who let us use the room there, I got him involved in the video as well. So it's kind of like a bit of everything. And then we've got this. I don't really want to give too much away about the intro to it, but let's go on then. It's an 007 intro.
Oh,
If you know
okay.
the intro to 007, it's along them kind of lines, yeah. So, but I won't give too much away. But we had some ideas for the video that didn't really work out with the song title of using chocolate yogurt or something like that coming out of mouth, and I thought, no, it's a bit too over the top. So we went down a different route, and the video is very much a very fun video now, and Ian appears in it as well. It's 2.5 minutes long. You've heard the song, actually.
I have. It's a really
Yeah.
good song. I really like your vocals as well, because
Yeah.
obviously I'm a singer, so that's what I'm initially drawn to.
Yeah. So yeah, it's 2.5 minutes of pop rate, basically, really, in a power pop, I suppose you call it. It's a little bit punky, a bit of kind of boppy, and you know.
Nice.
But it was influenced lyrically by Spunk Volcano and Dirtbox Disco. Really, I just wanted something that was kind of an observational lyric, and it was fun, and it was a little bit kind of got a naughty word in it. You know, so that's how that kind of came about, really. Yeah, so it's great, and like I say, the video, I should also mention as well with the video that again, I went out and went onto social media and asked people if they had or wanted to send me pieces of artwork with what they thought would be in the artwork, revolving around the words "it's just shit." And I had quite a few pieces of artwork sent back to me of their thoughts of what should be on it, and they're used as the background in the video. But the video will be out at the end of the month. But yeah, there's lots of pieces of artwork in there, so there's lots of people involved, loads of credits, really.
As I said, it's a shame. Cause I would have sent you something. I would have contributed, because that's what I do art and graphic design and things like that. If you ever need a graphic designer, then please hit me up. Or if you need a website, cheap plug there. I'll stop talking. It's your interview.
And I had lots of people. One person even did me just a hand drawing, not even on a computer or anything, just a hand drawing.
Nice.
And I thought, great, you know.
That's brilliant.
So there's lots of things like Tracy sent me a piece as well.
Oh, nice.
No, it's on Dead Ombra. She sent me a piece. There's one of her pieces of artwork in there as well. A few others as well that I'll put them out there one at a time at some point, and people can see them before the video comes out, because people need to see them as well.
Yeah.
You know, but also not just with this particular video, but obviously I keep involving different people in the songs and what have you. I went down the route with this video also of wanting to promote it, but to promote it in a different way to what people normally would do, and it's just my mind going into overdrive. And I had this thought that I would ask you, I don't know, 3 or 4 people if they'd speak into the camera, and for me to video it and say it's just shit, and I was going to put these little videos out as little snippets to promote the song and the video. And it started off, I managed to get all of Dirtbox doing it. So I got all the Dirtbox with their masks and face paint and all that on, doing the little video. It's just shit. And I was going to just put them out, and that was it, and promote the song. But I went to Rebellion this year, and it suddenly struck me that, because I'm very sociable with them there, as a lot of people are, and you get talking to all the artists and the bands and things, and it suddenly struck me while I was there, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to ask a few more people if they'll do me videos. And it's extended from there, and I think I've got near enough 40 people now doing It's Just Shit, and it's become a promo of the promo video, if that makes sense.
Do you know what? I really love that sense of community and everybody coming together to like support you and stuff. I think it's fucking brilliant.
I'll be quite honest with you. I mean, I did some at Rebellion, and then I came back and I thought, what am I going to do with all these now that I've got them? And I thought, maybe I'll get a few more. So I started messaging people. And I've only had three people turn me down from all the different people that I messaged. There's only 3 that said, no, I'm not doing it, apart from a few that just didn't reply. But I had a few that I thought, blimey, I didn't expect you to come back to me. I've had CJ Wildout come back to me. He did one.
He?
Yeah, I've got what's his name? Blaze out of Wolfsbane. Got him. I got Risky out of Risky and the Ridicule.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's loads, and then there's lots of not necessarily big name bands, but there's the smaller ones, the Dorellas. The names are just, I mean, I had the Suicide Note send me some. It's just loads of them, really.
Nice.
They've just become another video. But I ended up having to put a soundtrack to the video as well, because it felt kind of a little bit bitty just throwing them all together without having anything there to kind of tie them in together, if you know what I mean. So I've ended up using one of my own songs, which is still unreleased, but in an instrumental version of it, as the soundtrack to it. So there is something there, but it's kind of everybody's just going, it's just shit, it's just shit, it's just shit, it's just shit. So it just works. but everyone's, I just think that everybody's going to have fun when they see it, and they're going to go, I'm gonna name all these bands, all these artists that are in it.
Have you organised it? Is it in alphabetical order, or have you just thrown them in randomly? Are you still doing it? You're still working on it?
No, I just kind of threw them in randomly, really. I've still got some of them still been pinging through to me today, even. And a couple that I'm still waiting on to come through as well. So I've just kind of thrown them in randomly, really, because I didn't, when I started putting the video together, expect to even get as many. My mate Rocky Shades does an intro on it. He does the actual intro rather than just saying it's just shit. He's actually introducing it. So there's a little bit, and then there's me in the middle saying, I don't know, something like, all these people think this is just shit. But just to break it down a little bit. But yeah, it's fun. And it's just part of the promotion. I mean, I love that side of it, promoting things. And then doing the posing for photos as well at Rebellion with my mate. We did a photo shoot while we was up at Rebellion, and we're using those photos to promote it as well. Just putting those out. We've got the artwork, all sorts really going on. And then on top of that, this month as well, going back a little bit now, I did a song with the Dead Hombres, which I think you're aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you mentioned it on a previous podcast.
Yeah, we did.
So, yeah, I did a song with them. it wasn't supposed to be a finished song originally. It was just an idea that I wrote around the same sort of time as Two-Faced People. And it was only kind of an idea that I was hoping that Nigel and Tracy would expand on a little bit. And I sent the idea off to them, and it was around the time of COVID again. Sent it to them, and they did some work on it, but it was only half a song, really. And they sent it back to me, and I don't know whether we lost some of the files or something happened, but we never completed it. And my mate Ian got involved again, and he said, "I'll tell you what we'll do." He said, "We'll cut and paste some stuff in the music, and we'll complete the song." So we had the files for half a song basically, and my mate Ian again came in on the scene and basically suggested that he'd have a go at copying and pasting parts from the song and extending it, which is what we did really. And then I went back in and did a proper vocal on it, because the vocal was very rough as well. So we ended up with a full song at the end of it all, which again did a video for it and put it out there. But my point being, bringing it up though, it was never on Spotify or Apple Music or anything. So that song's going to appear on there the middle of this month as well. So that's another thing that's happening.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So there's a fair bit happening this month, and then I worked on a song that was not necessarily part of my solo project. At the back end of last year, I was on Instagram and I came across this guy that was he was playing music on there, just playing guitar stuff, video guitar stuff on there. And he started saying, "Is there anybody out there who would like to write a song with me or write some music?" Blah blah blah. And I approached him and I said, "Yeah, I'm interested. I'll do some vocals for you." So he sent me three song ideas, and one of them in particular really stood out to me. And I've got a set of lyrics with a really rough idea that seemed to fit in with this song that he sent me, and started working on it. And the song Insomnia came about after much toing and froing of the song and me doing vocals, etc. We came to the conclusion that we'd got a full song that we could put out, but we decided that we were going to put it out under a different name. We put it out as Andy Guttercat and Suicidal. It was very quickly put together, put it out there, the video, the song. But all the time while we'd actually been recording this song, I kept having this feeling that there was some timing issue on it. And even when we put the song out, I still, in the back of my head, kept thinking, there's some timing issue in this. It doesn't sound right to me. But I kept asking my mate Ian again on his thoughts on it. And he kept saying, the song subject is insomnia and you're drifting in and out of sleep. And he said, it works, that timing works with what the song is about. And I don't know, as you probably know, if you're not happy with something and it keeps niggling at you, you want to get it resolved.
Yeah.
And it kept niggling me. So the song got put out, the video and what have you. I approached, and I mentioned them before, the Wild Hearts. Approached the guy that used to produce them, Dave Draper. He's also worked with lots of other bands as well. He works down in Worcester, and he's worked with the Gypsy Pistoleros on their new album. I approached him. He'd done some mastering on some of my songs anyway, so it's not like I didn't know him. And I'd also been to his studio a few years back as well, which was doing backing vocals for the band The Spangles. Do you know them?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
So yeah, I approached him. I sent him the song and I said, Dave, is there any chance you can remix this song for me? And he came back to me and he said, fucking hell, he says, that's a head fuck, isn't it? He says, I don't know what's going on there. He says the singing's in time, but he says I can't work out the rest of it.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that, isn't it? As you were just saying,
So,
yourself, it's just when something's not right and you can't put your finger on it. It's
So I said, Dave, what can you do? Dave said, I can't remix that. He said, what I'll do is I'll re-record all the guitar and the bass parts, redo it completely, the music. The vocals are fine. I said, do you want me to come down to the studio? No, vocals are fine. He redid the whole thing, and now it just sounds like a different song. He's put his own mark on it. It's just such a powerful song. It was really good in the initial onset of it, but since Dave took over and did his part on it, it's like just blown me away completely. And it's not a style that I normally do because it's quite heavy as well, but it's so powerful, and the subject matter as well of not being able to sleep and things, and the lyrics just that they all just work on it completely. Done this new video, which it's similar, but it's a lot more powerful as well, and it's a bit scary as well, which I like. So yeah, overall, I'm really pleased with what we've managed to achieve with that one as well. But like I say, it's slightly different to the stuff that I've normally put out. But it's I wrote it, I think, last summer, the lyrics for it, just sitting in the conservatory one night, unable to sleep. Not that I suffer from insomnia, but it just came about like that, and the lyrics kind of match with what I was feeling at the time.
Yeah.
But I originally wrote the lyrics as a bit of a love song, believe it or not, a ballad type thing. But then it just took a complete turnaround. It's ended up as insomnia. But yeah, so there's that to look forward to. At the end of November, I'm going to put that one out. Yeah, so pretty much all the songs are there, but they just need some completion with some guitar work doing, some vocals doing. Yeah, so we'll get there.
It's a long process sometimes, especially when you've got other things going on in your life.
Well, it's that, but it's not just me. It's the people having things going on as well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these things, I've just approached people as favours, really. I've approached them and said, any chance you can play on this? Just been cheeky. That's me all along, as it were. Just, but at the same time, if I can help anybody out with doing anything, I'll do that. Photos for bands, photo shoots, and videos and things that I've done for bands, anything really, that even promoting stuff. Bullets and Octane, one of my favourite bands, they're coming over here in November. I don't know if you've heard of them. Bullets and Octane, yeah. I chat a lot to Gene on there, and I've done a lot of pushing his songs on Instagram and stuff as well, doing little videos to promote them, and he appears in my video as well because he did a video for me as well. So yeah, so it's all just swings and roundabouts, and good fun all the time. But that's just me. I just like to be sociable, and I've always been like that, even if it's been asking people for support slots with bands and things like that. At the end of the day, I've always had this approach to things of, if you don't ask, the answer's always going to be no. If you don't, the answer's always going to be no, and you'll never know.
Yeah, I'd rather know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have it. You're either going to say yes, no, or just blank you.
Yeah.
And none of those answers are bad, are they?
Yeah. So, but yeah. So that's what I've always done, really. That's how I kind of blagged getting a gig at the Marquee all them years ago as well. Just through perseverance of just asking, going to see bands, and hanging out with them, chatting, having a drink, and just going from there. So, any chance for a gig? And that's the way you used to do it as well. There's no social media back then either. Self-promotion and just asking.
I think social media's been good for opening the gates for like people like myself with children, and I'm still
Yeah.
able to be active and get out there.
Oh,
Like years ago, they'd just been,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I use social media loads, really. Promotion, obviously, but it's a good tool if you use it in the right way.
Yeah.
It can have the reverse effect as well of causing lots of arguments and things. And I've been there, done that, and I just steer clear of things like that as much as I can these days. I just want to smile and have a laugh, really. I don't post stuff on social media for stuff, politics and anything in that respect. I'm not that knowledgeable about it, for one thing, and it doesn't really interest me, so I don't post about stuff like that. If I post something, it's got to be something fun, photos, or just me being stupid. I'm always up for a laugh. I post photos of me at work wearing silly costumes or whatever that have been hanging around. But at the end of the day, it's life, isn't it? Got to laugh.
Yeah, you do. Especially at the moment, everything's just weird. I know life's not exactly plain sailing anyway, but there's some proper weird stuff out there.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
in a sort of, when I say weird, and I mean in a dangerous way. With all the flags and
Oh,
all the
yeah, yeah,
negativity and stuff.
yeah.
It's
No, I don't. I don't even get involved in that. Like I say, I don't hold the knowledge to hold an argument in respect to those things, as it were, as well. So I just stay out of it. Stick to
Yeah.
me music, which is what I think I'm good at anyway. and obviously people out there must think so as well, because they've still got me hanging around and listening to it and watching it. I mean, the videos in themselves kind of speak that they've had over 1K views on YouTube and things. There's a couple there not done quite so well, but that might be down to the subject matter, possibly, or the fact I didn't push it enough, maybe. But the one with the dead hombres, I should have mentioned as well, was about being in lockdown. So it wasn't the best of subjects, but it was something that I just felt I wanted to write at the time about sitting in isolation and things.
Yeah.
But it was tongue in cheek as well, in a way, lyrically. So, and the video's got me cat in it.
Hey. Anything with a cat in it is,
Yeah. So, but me insomnia video's got me dog in it. So, but yeah. So yeah. So it's all good fun. And like I say, I think life's about having fun, really, and having a laugh.
Yeah.
And if it involves music, then so be it, you know.
Okay, tell me about the Phil Lynott photograph.
Oh, yeah, I can. Yeah, at the end of the day, as I mentioned, I was into all the rock stuff in the early years, and we used to go to Coventry Theatre to go and see lots of these bands at the time that used to tour. In fact, the very first band that I went to see at the Coventry Theatre was Slade, and it wasn't at their peak. It was as they were kind of like sloping off, and it was before they played Reading Rock Festival. I don't know if you're aware of that. Ozzy Osbourne dropped out, and they filled his slot, and they suddenly came back and were back in the charts and a massive band again. But anyway, I went to see them first time, and it was on my own, actually, to go and see Slade at Coventry Theatre. None of my mates wanted to go. They weren't really interested at the time. So I went on my own. I talked my mum and dad into letting me go, and went to that. And from there, I then went to go and see Black Sabbath with Van Halen supporting them. And this was in Coventry as well. And went to see them. And as it was, you used to be able to just go to the stage door and wait for these bands to emerge after the gig. And one of those instances was with Thin Lizzy. Went to see them there, and it was the Thunder and Lightning tour, final tour that they did. And me and my girlfriend at the time, we hung around outside the stage door, or probably up to an hour, I would have thought, before they came out. But on this occasion, we actually got invited in through the stage door into the back area, as it were, and met the band there, and was very fortunate at the time to have had a camera and got a photo with Phil Lynott.
Nice.
Yeah, so and you can. It's one of my prized photos, and I'm sure you'll post it at some point. It's one of my prized photos, and I post it every year for Phil Lynott's passing and his birthday for everybody to see, and everybody loves it. But within that photo, you can see how excited I was to meet him. With me standing there, my tongue sticking out. But I was just so excited and overwhelmed to meet Phil Lynott, one of my heroes at the time. And looking back, I suppose it still is as well. But yeah, I tried to recreate the photo as well a while back, with a picture of me imposed over the picture of me, as it were, with my tongue hanging out, and how I look today. It's so I mean, I don't know. I don't even know why we would have had a camera with us then at that point. I did some photography back then, but not an awful lot. It was probably on a little Instamatic. It might have been my girlfriend that had the camera at the time.
Yeah.
There were I don't know, 3 or 4 other photos that were taken at the same time, but there's only that one with me with Phil Lynott. There's another one, I believe, with the guy that was on the stage door, an old fella that he's obviously passed away now. He was there, and John Sykes, the guitarist, he was also in one of the photos as well with me. And Darren Wharton, I think it was, the keyboard player from Lizzie as well. So, but yeah, so that was that story with Phil Lynott. I also, and I tell these stories all the time, to be honest. I met Van Halen as well. And I waited all day to meet Van Halen in Birmingham, at Birmingham Odeon at the time. And the band eventually came along, and it was down like a side alley where the stage door was for the Odeon theatre then, or Odeon Cinema as it is now. And we waited down this alley, and I was still at school at the time, and I think I bumped a day off school, and I took my sandwiches with me, went over on the train, stood there all day waiting for them to arrive. And then they arrived, and I managed to get the autographs of Edward Van Halen and Michael Anthony on my Van Halen album number 2. And they signed that. Never got to meet Alex, the drummer, but Dave Lee Roth, it always stands out in my mind. He refused to do an autograph, but he come walking down the alleyway, and I can remember it still to this day. Got this big, massive fur coat on, boombox, sunglasses on, real rock star, coming down the alley, and it's like, no autographs, like this. Oh, but it was disappointing, because at the time he was one of my massive heroes as a singer. It was like I just wanted to be him, this massive rock star, as I thought back then. But my perception kind of changed at that point. Rocky Shades out of Wrathchild, he became a really good friend of mine, and he was one of my heroes back in the 80s from the band Wrathchild. They're still going as well now, different line of mine, but still going. And we became really good friends over the years as well. I met John Lydon last year, I think it was, or the year before. And he was a bit funny with me as well. but that's just John Lydon, I think,
I
for you.
know.
But I think I annoyed him.
Oh wow! What
And
did you do to annoy John
and,
Lydon?
and you can see in the photos that were taken, the literal moment that I kind of annoyed him, because you can see the anger in his face.
Wow! What did you do?
Well, I didn't really do anything wrong, to be honest. All I did was, when you go into the room with John, he'd introduce you, say, "Oh, this is Andy," or whoever it was. And he did that. He introduced me. John went, "All right, how you doing?" And I said, "Yeah, can you sign this record for me?" He says, "Yeah, no problem." So he's got all his marker pens, and it's all laid out. It's like almost like being at school, as it were. All these different coloured pens on the table, and yeah. And he says, "Right, I'll sign this for you." And I says, "Can you do it to Andy Guttercat?" And he went, "No, you'll get Andy, and that's it," he said. I thought, "Oh, okay then, teacher." But apart from that, no. I mean, he was all right after that. But it was just that moment, and I thought, "Wow, I've upset him." But yeah, all different people along the way I've kind of encountered, I suppose. The only pistol I haven't met is Steve Jones, but I think he's the rare one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an artist that I interviewed as well, which was quite an interesting one. It's a guy that, again, through social media, is a guy that I've worked with for a number of years, going right back to the Guttercats days as well, and he's done lots of logos and things for me. So I kind of fell on my feet there. Every time I put a piece of music out or whatever, need something to promote, I'll go to him and say, "Dave, what do you think to this idea? Can you draw it?" And he'll go, "Yeah, I'll do that for you." And I end up with a piece of artwork for the cover for songs and things. So each piece of work that I put out it's all kind of thought about, really, the different aspects of the things that I'm doing, and I've always kind of worked towards that, shall we say. When I was with bands and that before, it was always me drawing the posters and digitising and things like that. When I was doing the bands before, I mean, going right the way back to the beginning, we used to like draw them on bits of paper and then photocopy them. And then at one point, I don't know if you recall, you used to be able to buy, I don't know if you can still buy them, little letter transfers.
Yeah.
And you spend hours doing that as well.
I remember them.
Putting them onto,
yeah, they were fun.
Yeah, and then like photocopying them and cutting them up and handing them out and stuff like that. But I've always liked all that sort of side of it as well. I mean, I'm no graphic designer or anything like that. I am a little bit artistic, and sometimes I have ideas but can't necessarily put them onto paper. But that's where Dave's come in with his artwork for me as well. And he does it for a living as well, his artwork. But he's done lots of my band logos, and they've appeared on T-shirts, tattoos even. And he's also led him to meet other artists as well that want work doing for them. So lots of his stuff's out there as well. But I wouldn't say only because of me, but it's opened the gateway for him as well. And we did a great podcast on it, video interview, detailing all that and going into where he started and things like that. And it was very interesting. So, but everywhere that around the house, I suppose I've got bits and bobs of Guttercat stuff.
I can see the background.
Guttercat mug as well.
I'm in my son's bedroom because it's one of the only quietest places in the house.
I'm in a cupboard, which is yeah, it's a cupboard, but it's like my little man cave, I suppose, with all the, I don't know whether you can see them from there, but there's all posters.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
loads of them, that I've collated and put there, and this is actually where I record my vocals as well. So I record my vocals in here. I've done my videos and podcasts, but it's all in a little cupboard, basically.
Is it under the stairs, or is it just a general cupboard?
No, it's in the bedroom upstairs, above the stairs, the opposite side of the stairs, as it were. It's above the stairs. Yeah, it used to be. I think it was a walk-in wardrobe at some point, but it's got like a little table thing in there as well. So I don't know. I'm just very, very fortunate that I've got loads of great friends around me that have helped me, or I've helped them over the years. Yes, it's just, very, very lucky and fortunate.
Yeah.
But but don't get me wrong. There have been times when, especially when the Guttercats split up initially, like 13 years ago, the way it ended wasn't nice, and it put me in quite a bad place, to be honest, with a bit of depression and a lot of anxieties and things that I've had to overcome to get myself back out there. Sometimes people don't necessarily think that I should be suffering with anxieties or depressions and things like that. Not going to gigs because I'm scared to go, or getting to the door of a gig and not going in because anxiety kicks in, things like that. But I think I've overcome a lot of that, and some of it has been down to the fact I stopped drinking. Stopped drinking nearly 3 years ago now. And I think some of that had a lot to do with it, and stopping drinking was the best thing that I've ever done, really. With drinking back in the 80s and that, I can't remember a lot of it now. and I mean, that's another project as well that I started a long time ago, writing a biography. I kind of felt that even though I'd not made it as a rock star or whatever, I felt that I just wanted to write something which was in some ways part of another problem I had early on in life with anger management. It told me to write things down, and it kind of stemmed from there. I just started thinking, I'm going to write something, and write a biography was what I ended up doing, and that's kind of ongoing, as it were, obviously. One day it might come out. Maybe it'll just sit there. I don't know. But there's lots of stories in there. Every time I think of something that reminds me of something, I'll write it down. But it's been fun. Like I say, I've done radio shows and things before, so I should be accustomed to it by now. But I don't stop rabbiting.
Oh, it says me talking.
I don't think you've had a chance to put many words in there.
But it is about you, though. I do say that to people. Not on some of the podcasts I go into one, but it's about the person. It's not about me. If I want to talk about me, I'll do a show called Marie Repulsive, and I'll talk about myself, which I don't know if anybody would want to hear, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay then. That's about it then, really.
Okay.
To wrap it up.
See you later.
Yeah, it's been fun. Okay. See you now.
Bye. That was Andy Guttercat. We were Punk Rock Creatives. See you next time. Thank you for listening.